welcome to this video. We'll be drawing a simple interior. The name of the book that I got this reference from will be in the description box, so grab your pencils and markers and whatever else you use and come draw with me. As you can see, the reference is right there to your right of the screen. So while we draw, let's talk about some things. One of the things that has been heavy on my mind is being able to balance creating content and creating art. I think to myself, are you an artist or are you a content creator? Because the lines are very blurred. You know, if you're trying to create content to promote yourself out here on social media, to drum up some business, you can easily get caught up in creating content more so than creating art for that content. I mean, you do need the art for that content, but it can be so much easier to create. Like, you can batch create content, you can create reels from just pictures. It's just so much easier to create content nowadays. Everything is content, everything. So, you know, if you're not careful, you can get really caught up into the creating content part and possibly becoming an influencer rather than creating the art. And while I want to create as much content as possible and stay active in the quote-unquote algorithms, I much prefer creating art. That's just me. I'm an artist first who creates content to document my journey of growth, promote my work, and inspire others. So I just wanted to kind of get that because I got that download a couple of weeks ago, and I've been holding on to it, and I've been just really thinking about how to navigate myself here in this space as an artist and also a content creator. So this interior that I'm drawing right now, and I hope you are too, is basic and classic. A hallway table with a piece of art and like some accessories on the table. I didn't draw it exactly as I see it. I never really do. That's why it's called a reference photo. When you're using a reference photo, unless you are copying it, I tend not to copy. Even for sketchbook stuff, like this is for my sketchbook, so this is totally loose. The lines aren't straight. I'm just totally playing around in my sketchbook right now, and I loved drawing interiors. I love I don't know why I love interiors so much. I just do, and I find it fascinating. Anyway, so this is super like drafty, not a finished piece. This is for sketchbook purposes only, and it's a basic and classic interior table, accessories, book, art, a piece of art. So I find interiors to be really interesting because interiors can be decorated with personal items that tell a story, like a still life as well. So they can tell a story. You can really tell a lot about a person by what they have lying around their home, and that tells you a story about them. It tells you about them, their likes, their dislikes. It can tell you a lot if you just pay attention. So I think that may be one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to interiors and still lifes, because I just find them so fascinating. So here I am. I spoke through the sketching part, so now we are coloring. Okay, for the first part I sketched, and then the second part I inked. I inked the sketch with a Micron, a fine liner pen. I erased the unwanted pencil marks because I didn't want them to show up, because it was a graphite pencil that I used, and it would still show up even under the markers. FYI, I'm using watercolor markers here. They are Winsor and Newton watercolor markers. Yeah, so I first sketched, and then I erased the unwanted pencil marks. And then I went in with coloring with my watercolor markers. So that's what I am doing now. I'm recreating that art piece. And that's another thing about interiors, because you'll find a lot of interior scenes with art in it. So it's like you're having to recreate the art within the art, and that's so cool. You'll probably hear me say that a lot in my videos, the art within the art. It's so cool to me. But anyway, so I'm here coloring everything in using my watercolor markers. And I used, I couldn't really tell what that figurine or statue is on that table. So I decided to make some potted plants, create some potted plants and the books. Instead of trying to figure out what that is, I just made it my own. And I wanted to make the background like pop. I wanted to make it dark, but then at the same time still pop. You know what I mean? So that's why I used the blue, the Prussian blue. I love Prussian blue, by the way. So here I am adding some more details with the Micron fine liner pen. Adding the details on the drawers and whatnot. And then I start moving, and then I moved on to my colored pencils. I'm using some luminance colored pencils, and you don't have to use the same supplies that I use to do this illustration. You use what you have. Yeah, so getting back to what I was saying, I'm going in and adding details, filling in the watercolor marks with colored pencils. I find that watercolor brushes, like the watercolor brush pens, I should say, like the ones I was using there, they leave a lot of streaks. And I tend to only use them in my sketchbooks. I wouldn't use these brush pens for a final piece, only because it's just so much streaking. And then I mean, if that's the look that you're going for. But final piece wise, I wouldn't use them because there's too much streaking, and you would have to go in and kind of clean it up, with colored pencils or another type of medium. And here I am just outlining things, trying to clean up the look a little bit. I mean, it's my sketchbook, it's not anything special. I was just practicing here, but I just was wanting to clean things up a bit, add some details, make it look like a real piece of art, even though it's in my sketchbook. All right, so I feel like I'm almost done here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, all of my new subscribers. And if you're interested in purchasing my art, that is available to you at martinefelton.com. There is the finished piece, and thank you again.